And let's now take you across to our expert panel of guests. We're joined by Naina Kidwai, a well-known name in India's banking sector. She used to be with HSBC India, and she's also a former, first in fact, woman president of the Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry, former president, and now she's with the chair, India Sanitation Coalition. We're also joined by Jayant Krishna, former CEO, NSTC, which is a National Skill Development Corporation. If I could come to you, Ms. Kidwai, first and ask you about your first thoughts on the union budget, which with special attention to not just banking but women as well, and the goal that you've now taken up in terms of cleaning up India in every respect.
So delighted to be on your show. What I'm really impressed with is that the commitment that has been made to the fiscal glide path, control of debt to GDP, has indeed been maintained, even while infrastructure spend has gone marginally up. And within infrastructure spend, I'm happy to see that the investment that is going into urban infrastructure gets mentioned. There's mention of looking at these city zones, where it isn't just about looking at the city in itself, but clusters of cities. And if you look at what that means in terms of creating mobility between a city, the para area around the city, the hinterland, what it does is connects up municipalities around tier 2, tier 3 cities in a way which enables mobility of people and indeed becomes far more efficient in terms of use of land and resources. Now, what has seen little mention and which I do want to highlight is that there are sharp increases in funding to the Department of Water Resources, River Development, and the Ganga Rejuvenation Program by 17%. The outlay is pretty huge, going up from 21,640 crores to over 25,000 crores. And the allocation for river cleaning, basin level management have been strengthened with the National Ganga Plan receiving 13% of the increase, and river basin management scheme seeing a jump of 70%. So the focus of India on looking at its water resources has continued, indeed has increased from last year. And the notable shift is that programs like the Jal Jeevan Mission, which outlay has gone up by 198%, is a demonstration of the commitment of the government to ensure tap water availability as promised by 2028. So these are older schemes which were announced have not been forgotten. And we know that 15 crore rural households, around 80% of India's rural population, have gained access to tap water. And the extension of the Jal Jeevan Mission to achieve 100% coverage is really a very critical public infrastructure priority and not just a welfare intervention. And it goes without saying that the focus in providing water and sanitation is an indication of how we want our citizens to be healthy. So they really fall into the overall attention of health management. I would just add to this that a second area which I think is worthy of mention in this budget is the whole area of job creation. This is a critical agenda for India, and it gets mentioned in the healthcare space itself in terms of skilling. It helps India in terms of being a medical tourism destination, which was also mentioned in the budget. Tourism saw focus, and that again is a big employment generator. And the delivery of public services, like this area of water and sanitation I touched on, also becomes a big employment generator. So the issue of job creation through key initiatives, particularly in tourism and delivery of healthcare services, are indeed quite critical and important to highlight.
Okay, wonderful. Jayant, Krishna, if I could come to you and ask you about, of course, the kind of workforce that India needs and how the budget provisions for it, not just in frontier sectors, when we're talking about becoming a semiconductor hub, or we talk about a lot of data centers in India, but also in areas which require softer skills such as healthcare.
Oh, absolutely. I think, I mean, if India has to realize its demographic dividend, right? I mean, let's all understand that it is not an endless window of opportunity. In a couple of decades' time from now, India's population growth rate would start falling. I mean, it will be a negative growth. The rate of growth has already slowed down. It will become a negative growth in about 20.